Hello world, it's the 23rd of May 2019. It's about 11:30 in the morning, 12 o'clock, midday, something like that, UK time. And this is my first of a few days take on Mars-Pluto aspects. Now I'm deliberately spreading this over a few days because this is such a heavy duty combination that it can't be dealt with lightly. So I'm going to spread it over at least 2, if not 3 days. And today I want to look at 2 very different forms of Mars-Pluto energy. I'm looking at the Mars-Pluto trine and the Mars-Pluto opposition. You'll excuse me occasionally looking with my eyes down. That's because I'm looking at what I wrote. Pluto, the law of Pluto, reshaping the void. I wrote that a few years ago when Pluto was opposite my sun. And I occasionally refer to this just to give me sort of trigger points. The thing with Mars and Pluto is that they're both really powerful energies. The fundamental difference is that Pluto's energy is underworld. It is dark. It is not subversive as such as it is underground. It is forensic, clinical, unconscious, subconscious, comes through in primal urges, whereas Mars's energy is much more overt. Mars is the way you project and assert yourself, whether it's through aggression, warfare and violence, or bravery, heroism and courage. And both of these planets have a big affinity with the sign of Scorpio, which is why perhaps they're both so commonly associated with the sexual urge and the sex drive. The trine between these 2 planets really helps them blend with each other in a way that creates a really vibrant and normally very positive power surge in the individual. It is not about being powerful, it is about being power filled. From a Mars perspective, the Mars trine Pluto trine does bring a powerful physical energy, a strong libido, a capacity for consistent and rhythmical, regular physical expression. It gives a strong degree of confidence in oneself. It gives a kind of commanding or self-empowering energy field and aura around oneself. And it gives the ability, the individual, the ability to draw on big, deep reserves of energy. These are the people to whom stamina is their middle name. Mars, if you have Mars trine Pluto in your chart, you know as well as I do, you don't burn out. You just keep going in a regular, consistent way when other people fall by the wayside. If you look at it the other way, when you think, well, it's not Mars trine Pluto, but it's Pluto trine Mars, then there's a bit of difference here because it's about the knack for uncovering things and bringing things up from the past or from the underworld in certain ways. And it gives the relentless capacity for pursuing one's goals, dreams and ambitions. But even with the more gentle contact between Mars-Pluto, such as this one, there's going to be clear boundaries because the furthest way that Mars trine Pluto people will go is halfway. They won't surrender. They'd rather walk away with their head held high than go more than halfway. So compromise is not that easy. What there is the ability to act quick in emergency. These are the people who would, in fact, to quote an existing client, I always cope well in emergency situations and make quick and big decisions when needed. In all of the major changes in my life, they've happened so quickly that looking back, it seems strange that I can be indecisive about insignificant things in my life for ages. These are the people who don't do insignificance. It's always yes, no, black, white. Mars opposite Pluto is one of the more challenging aspects in astrology. It's up there in the top 5 to 10% of difficult aspects. It's certainly challenging in terms of anger management and physical expression. And most of these people will go through challenges, especially in youth, with parents, and there's often a distinct difference between the child's direction and the parents' desired direction for the children. These are the people who don't really do long explanations. If you've got Mars opposite Pluto in your chart, actions always speak louder than words. Short sentences work better than long paragraphs. And decisive and incisive, direct action is always the preferred mechanism for getting things done. If your child is born with a Mars-Pluto opposition, then from an early age, I strongly advise you to get them into martial arts, something like Taekwondo, Aikido, kickboxing, or else archery, something which gives them a focus, something which gives them a skill to concentrate their physical energies into, so that they end up using their energy so that it doesn't use them. Otherwise, Mars opposite Pluto can end up in a way with lots of bumps and bangs and bruises and burns and broken bones and aggression. Violence even. It's a challenging aspect. Certainly this can result in a number of challenging ways of expression, from surly and resentful behaviour to almost aggressive attitudes. These people often prefer to work alone. Mars opposite Pluto, they work alone because others can't keep up with them. When there is no vehicle for these people to put their energy into, then it can erupt in irrational and unconscious anger patterns, or come out through some type of inflammatory illness, ulcers, zits, things like this. These are the people who will go, they won't bother with doing the 100 meters if they can do a marathon. They will purge themselves through exercise, and sweat is possibly one of the most satisfying things for them because it means they're detoxing and cleansing and purging and eliminating. But if they can find something, if they can put their energy into their work, it's sometimes a physical exercise or career that is representative of the Mars-Pluto urge for cleansing and eliminating and purifying, then they're going to be feeling really proud of themselves. The challenge is to find that specialist niche. And then there's the sexual stuff. Mars opposite Pluto can be quite brutalist, but it can also be extremely sensitive and gentle and a really good lover. Quote, Mars opposite Pluto, here lies the aggressive and violent, the manipulative and coercive, as well as the selfish and amoral attitude of the emotionally corrupt or unevolved, based purely and solely upon power over others as a survival mechanism. Here also, regardless of gender, lies the aspiring Grail Knight, who purges and purifies themselves of all that is corrupt and dirty, who constantly seeks to transform their lust and desire and to regenerate it into something far more refined and sophisticated. Mars opposite Pluto. If you were born with this aspect, you've got a great deal of physical energy. It needs to be used in a way that is disciplined, focused and concentrated. And if you do this, you can move mountains. You can be unstoppable. You can thrive in your invulnerability, and you have incredible stamina and perseverance. And if you don't use your Mars-Pluto energy, then it will use you. And then you're going to find that you're going to be angry a lot of the time, or that you seem to attract a lot of accidents at the physical level. It is one of the hardest aspects of the chart to manage. But if you do manage it, if you struggle to find a way to express yourself in a way that is assertive and projective without being confrontational and aggressive, then you become a master, regardless of gender. I'll do some more on Mars-Pluto tomorrow. Catch you later, world. Bye.